Honda Cadet final at the 22nd TKM Festival here at Kimbolton. Mitchell Gibbons and Jaden Gregg on the front row from Joshua Gambar and Macy Hitter. Tooten and Duncan, then Charman and Zach Drummond, and Jack Hobson and Ethan Simmons rounding out the top 10. A 32-kart grid with plenty of the best British talent in this category. Lots of drivers will want to charge their way through the field, and in greasy conditions, it's going to be a very tricky race. I'm Jake Sanson, beside me is Alan Taddy. This one is set to be a classic.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's Mitchell Gibbons, the man on pole, the E-plate. He's going off pole. We're going down to turn one. Always an interesting corner, Jake, and great to see a full grid here as a support race.
Jaden Gregg trying to get through into the lead of the first quarter is not going to make it. Fantastic start from the up-and-coming Macy Hitter. She's up into third position. She's having a really strong 2019 season. Seen her across a couple of the different categories in Honda Cadet over the course of the season, and she is making massive strides forward. There she is in third, in front of the GP plate of Oscar Tooten as the field knits its way into the very tight chicane up towards the Yamitsu straight, then up through Derek's corner and up towards Dan Weldon. Connor Duncan, the O-plate British champion of the open category, is there up in fifth position behind the GP of Oscar Tooten. So an amazing start there from him, but Joshua Gambar is the real faller through the field, down into sixth position. Make that seventh as up the inside comes Ewan Charman.
Macy Hitter, Jake, you'll have seen more of her than me. I have seen some of what she's been doing, but again, amazing the amount of female talent we have in British karting. That's Oscar Tooten, picked out the Kartmasters Grand Prix winner recently.
Yeah, very impressive performance he drove there as well at PIV International, but here we are for the TKM Festival weekend, the 22nd time it has run on this Kimbolton circuit, and it's great to see the Honda Cadets. Into Derek's, Jaden Gregg, started P2, stays there for the moment, did try and get the lead away from Mitchell Gibbons at the initial start. As they go through Dan Weldon, named after the late great Indy 500 winner, they come down the TKM straight and up towards Kestrel Corner. This is going to be an interesting challenge for the drivers as they get their way through the left-hander, through the square left, and then up towards the final turn, the Kimbolton Corner. And this is going to be an interesting lunge again up the inside from Joshua Gambar as he makes his way back up through the order. Some great wheel-to-wheel stuff. Rylan Ekberg making progress again. He is one of the prolific early race overtakers in Honda Cadet at the moment. And Freddie Hull's made up 5 places as well. As on the inside, that is Joshua Gambar making the move on Macy Hitter. Hitter trying to hold on to it, but the O-plate's through, and so too is Ewan Charman and Rylan Ekberg. One of the disadvantages, of course, Macy Hitter having in Honda Cadet is her height. She is one of the taller drivers in Honda Cadet at the moment. It's not going to be too long before she's able to make the jump up to either a mini or a junior class, but she's really starting to find some form in Honda Cadet at the moment, and she'll be battling for that third spot on the podium, currently held by Oscar Tooten, the GP plate, as that is a move for the lead. Jaden Gregg gets on the inside there on Mitchell Gibbons. He's been working up to that one, and now he's hit the front. Fantastic bit of driving.
Yeah, great move up the inside by Jaden Gregg for the lead. It's a three-way battle now for the lead. Greg Gibbons and Tooten, that should change. It does as they go through the line. Macy Hitter has dropped through, well, he's dropped back to 8th place now, Macy, but still in it to win it.
Some great battles through the field. That was Gustav Izhikov having a nice little battle there as they come across the line, battling with Liam Hartley, I think it was. And still great wheel-to-wheel stuff. Lots of good overtaking. Speaking of which, Mitchell Gibbons back up to the front on the inside line, and their squabble has brought Oscar Tooten into play. Gibbons gesticulating wildly. Come on, stop racing me, let's get away. And that's why, because Oscar Tooten's on their tail.
They're plenty far enough away at the moment, I think. Going up the inside, Tooten looking for the spot. Can't quite get it done, but look at that. They've got a good, 30 metres? Maybe 35, 40 metres, 35 metres probably over the battle for fourth. That's Agambar that's in fourth place. Connor Duncan, the British Open champion, in there as well. Ewan Charman, Rylan Ekberg. Further down the field, Oliver Bocock had made up 6 places. I think he's lost some places. No, he's still there. He's made up 6 places and 7 places. Made that 8 places now for Ben Rayburn as he goes through the line in P14.
And that's spots of rain. It started raining again. Now, we had a start of the race where it was pretty tricky in terms of conditions anyway, because it was that fine line between wet and dry. And now we've got actual rainfall back on the circuit as Oscar Tooten really steps up the attack on Jaden Gregg as up the inside into Dan Weldon. He's through.
Sweet. Up the inside, the GP plate. Kartmasters Grand Prix winner. You can't discount the confidence that will have given him winning that highly competitive club championship meeting. Arguably one of the biggest club championship meetings, perhaps behind this one in terms of numbers this year, as the 73 makes a place up, and that's another move by Ekberg. He'll go through the line in 6.
Oh,
Look
my
at the rain
word!
now.
On the
Look at
inside,
rain.
Tootin's going to make the lead move on Mitchell Gibbons, but it's torrential rain just as well. They all started the race on wet tyres because obviously they didn't really have an alternative in the greasy conditions. It was never going to be dry enough for slick tyres, but thank goodness they were on the wets because they could continue racing through it. Oh, a bit of a bounce on the grass there from Josh Agambar as he had to let Rylan Ekberg go. Ekberg trying to get the move on Connor Duncan and Ewan Sharman as this is the battle for 4th position and a real squabble, but the rain is definitely making us a big play. Up the inside comes Ekberg, and that's left the door wide open for Agambar to get past Connor Duncan as well.
Great racing all the way through. One of the issues they will have, they are on wet tyres, but bearing in mind it wasn't pouring down like it has been or is now. It's much heavier, the rain. What tyre pressures have they got in? I was expecting them to go out in fairly low tyre pressures with not a lot of rain falling, but as you can see, it's eased off a little bit, but it's heavier than they would have expected, so I'm expecting a lot of them to have very low tyre pressures in. If it does rain heavily, that will not suit what the tyre pressures that they've got in at the moment. The S-plate going through the Scottish champion.
Yeah, that is Aston Sharp, of course. Stationary yellows were at the first corner. That heavy rain shower has abated a little bit. It's still raining in places, but not heavy. Up the inside, that's Ben Rayburn. He gets the move on Oscar Tumblety, but Tumblty's not going to let him go through. A brilliant bit of defence, but on the exit, he runs wide, and that's enough for the 65 of Ben Rayburn to get back on the inside line into Dan Weldon, and he gets the place, and that's a slower cart in front of them, just getting out of the way. Unfortunately, Macy Hitter has had problems. She is now down at the back of the field. That is a real shame for Macy, having had a really good start initially to the race. She's ended up tumbling away, and I wonder if that's exactly what you mentioned in terms of the tyre temperatures as Sharp gets squeezed there. That was a very close move from Dylan McKay.
That was very close to meeting the tyres there as the British Open champion looking for the move from 7th to 6th. Can't quite get it done. That's Agambar still in 6th.
Well, we had a few people, we were talking earlier about tyre pressures, and I have a feeling that Jaden Gregg's not quite got it right, because up the inside, that's the 42 of Ewan Sharman, having caught up with him and moved his way through. So that is another place gained there for Ewan Sharman, or is it? Because Jaden Gregg is straight back up the inside into 3rd position. Absolutely brilliant battling. Oh, and Josh Agambar nearly ends up on the grass there as he duels with Rylan Ekberg, but he keeps his foot in, gets up the inside regardless. Ekberg on the curbs, and up the inside of both of them comes the O-plate of Connor Duncan. Oh, squeezes into the barriers, goes Rylan Ekberg. Oh, that was a big hit, and there's damage to the front left. He got squeezed there. That's what can happen if you run over onto that curb. Let's watch again. Duncan up the inside. Ekberg has no road left to play with.
Yeah, the O-plate didn't do anything wrong there. Ekberg's run wide. He's over the white line and trying to come back on. Unfortunately, that'll be a red flag. Collision with the O-plate. No further action. Officials have seen it. They're happy that that is a pure racing incident, and I would happen to agree with them. I don't think either driver really did anything wrong, but Rylan was a little bit wide, trying to come back on before he hit the tyres. We're restarting now in single file. 5 laps to go, Jake.
And the rain has come down heavier, so it's going to be an interesting one. It's all change and it's all square. As around the outside, that is the GP plate of Oscar Tootin trying to come through as Jarman gets into 3rd position immediately from Jaden Gregg. Look at the rain now. It is proper Kimbolton weather now as they come down the Yamitsu straight up towards Derrick's corner.
And bear in mind, Jake, as well, these carts have been sitting around for about 10-12 minutes at least during the red flag. They're underway again now, but the tyres will be cold, and they need to get some heat in the tyres with the amount of rain now falling. As I said before, I'm assuming with this amount of rain, there's a 42 up the inside for 2nd place. That's Ewan Jarman, dropping Oscar Tootin back 1-2 third, still on the podium at the moment. Tyre pressures again will be the issues in these conditions.
Look at Jaden Gregg, he's plummeting down the order. Again, that will be down to the tyre pressures because his speed is good enough to run at the front, but he's just got no grip.
Agambar into 3rd, Jake from 5th, so nice move there by Josh. So Gibbons, Jarman, Agambar, Duncan, Tootin, Drummond.
Oh, Agambar's into 2nd position now up the inside of Jarman, and Duncan's there to his inside as well. And watch out, because here comes the GP plate of Oscar Tootin. He tries to get through, can't quite make it stick. Jaden Gregg trying to hang on to the top 10 in the middle of the mix there. Look at the rain.
Yeah, Ben Rayburn went through the picture there, Jake, in 10th place. He's made up 12 now. Further back, Oliver Bocott was made up 10 overall. Sam Cooper in 20th made up 8.
Jensen Francis Weston has made up 9 as well, so a lot of big movers through the field. As the 18, Josh Agambar continues to hold on in second position, and GB, Oscar Tooten, runs wide there. 53, Zach Drummond looks behind him as if to say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Look at it, it's absolutely
bouncing.
torrential.
Absolutely bouncing. If you're in America, you'd be packing this in right now. You don't do racing in the wet, but we do here in the UK because, well, these are UK conditions.
Oh dear, Ewan Sharman just about managing to hang into second position as they came through. Mitchell Gibbons leading, but Ewan Sharman, having climbed from P7 to second, has now got to try and hang on. Connor Duncan in third, as up the inside, that is Ethan Simmons making his move up past Josh Agambar for fourth position. Agambar was second a lap ago. That's how tricky it is in these conditions. Zach Drummond now in fifth position as he makes his move up through the field. A minute and 47 on the clock. They will continue to time, but 42, Ewan Sharman trying to hang on here in front of Connor Duncan. Mitchell Gibbons is just neat and tidy out in front, and he doesn't need to push.
Oscar Tooten lost the place coming out of down Weldon Corner last time, of course, over the grass and down to 8th place for Oscar, but he'll come again. Dylan Mackay, or Dylan Mackay is it? Mackay. You say tomato, I say tomato. Up 11 places to 9th, and Rayburn again still there in 10th. 12 places made up, but again the rain, Jake, torrential now, and the E-plate well clear.
Yep, stationary yellows on the way down to the first corner, so I wonder if somebody has gone off there. As up the inside, Connor Duncan makes the move for second place on Ewan Sharman and gets through. Now that red flag has actually helped out Macy Hitter, who was running in the top 3 earlier on. She's climbed her way back up into 17th place. So she's really making a big charge back now, Macy Hitter. So there's a good chance she could find her way back into the top 10 before this race is over. Anything can still happen.
That would be a great effort, Jake. That would be a great effort because I think she was down there 28th, 29th after the earlier issue. So as you say, the red flag helps out, but you still got to overtake from the back of the field. And Macy's showing that she is the latest in a crop of high-quality female talent we've got in UK karting.
Up the inside, that's Agambar. Nice move to get into 5th position once again as Oscar Tooten is trying to defend the top 10. So Agambar through past Zach Drummond, and that puts him up into P5. Oh, contact! And in the barriers, it's Macy Hitter. We've cursed her. Oh, disaster for Macy Hitter. Again, 3 carts into the same corner, and she just got squeezed. Oh, Jarman trying to get through on the inside of Connor Duncan. The back end stepping out big style, and somehow he catches it. Any other driver probably would have lost that and clipped the barriers, but Sharman hangs onto it as Connor Duncan waves frustratedly, stop it. And on the inside, Simmons now dives in a third.
This is the battle for second and the only battle on the track. Got a warning flag for car 53 for track limits, apparently.
That's Drummond, so I'm not sure what he's supposed to have done, but apparently Drummond has been given a ticking off there.
As they go down to the Kestrel corner for the penultimate time. You see the warning on the start line there, 53 lines is what it says. So lines being track limits, and 23 up the outside for second. Ethan Simmons with a great move. Ben Rabin's now made up 15 places, by the way, on the 42. Just spot him coming towards us. And what a fantastic race this has been so far. It's not much of a race for the lead, but this battle for seconds raging. It'll go all the way to the line.
Ethan Simmons trying desperately to hang on to that second position spot in front of Connor Duncan. Ewan Sharman there in 4th from Agambar and Drummond. And then we've got Ben Rayburn battling it out with Dylan Mackay. Oscar Tooten is in the mix there as well. Up the inside to defend. That's Simmons covering off Connor Duncan for the moment. Heavy up on the curbs. Stop looking behind you. You've got to focus on what's going on in front, mate. Ethan, that is an invitation for Connor Duncan to come through and grab second place as they go through Dan Weldon, down the TKM straight. But the leader, Mitchell Gibbons, is already into Kestrel corner, down the laser and up into Kimbolton corner. This is going to be a really exciting result for Mitchell Gibbons. The E-plate winner is already on a roll this season. He comes out of the final turn and Mitchell Gibbons takes the victory here at Kimbolton. A fantastic performance. He looks packed. Where is everybody?
Yeah, exactly. Where is everybody? But look at the man in second. Ethan Simmons absolutely delighted, and he should be. He comes out on top of that little battle.
And Ethan Simmons deserves that one. He's had a tough season in 2019, but that result will reboot his confidence levels. Connor Duncan in 3rd from Ewan Sharman and Josh Agambar. Zach Drummond, Ben Rayburn, Dylan Mackay, Freddie Hull up into 9th place as well. And Oscar Tooten rounding out the top 10. So there is your result. Mitchell Gibbons in front of the brilliant Ethan Simmons in 2nd place. Connor Duncan hanging on for 3rd. Ewan Sharman in front of Josh Agambar and Zach Drummond. The fastest man was Oscar Tooten in a very thrilling race.
a new chance for you to come and race here at the Max's TKM Festival. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was very good overall. Struggled for pace on Friday and Saturday, but brought it back in the end, so very good with the end result.
It was a good weekend overall, won all the heats and the weather went my way in the final, so it's a good result overall.
That's all for this look at the Honda Cadet support race from the TKM Festival. Catch up with the other races online.